Well, good morning, everybody. It is show day. It is Saturday, March 28th, and I'm feeling pretty good. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 166.4 today, which, interestingly enough, is more than 10 pounds what I weighed on show day during my last competition in 2017. So, crazy. I didn't peak for this specific day. It was going to be April 18th that I was going to peak for. So I'd probably lose a little bit of weight, but I certainly wouldn't lose 10 pounds. So it is quite obvious to me that I've put on some serious lean muscle tissue in the past 3 years, which I feel pretty good about. Got my coffee. I've got 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of almond creamer in here. I'm going to have 3 of these cups of coffee. I took my ketone test and blood glucose test. Numbers were looking good there. It is, like I said, 3 o'clock in the morning. Usually I wake up at this time and I start working on clients. I start answering emails. I start doing some creative work. But I'm not going to do it today. Today is all about being in the moment and focusing on the day. I've got my phone on airplane mode. I'm not going to answer clients. I'm not going to answer emails. I'm not going to answer anything. I'm just going to be in the moment. I'm going to be reflective. I may watch some of the videos from my last competition prep. I'm going to do some reading this morning. I'm just going to be present, because being present and soaking up this day is absolutely key. So many people work so hard for something, and then when they're in that moment, they're not in the moment, and then it's a fleeting moment, and then they can't really hold on to it. When you work really hard for something, it's important to be present in that task so that you can learn from it, and that's what I'm going to do today. So, that said, I'm going to sit back, I'm going to enjoy this cup of coffee, I'm going to do some reading, I'm going to do some meditation, and I'll holler back at you in a bit. Alright, y'all, I'm sitting here watching some of this old footage from my 2017 competition, and it's pretty funny because it just gets you in the mood, it makes you reflect, it makes you just think about what things were like. But it's funny because I'm sitting here, and it's about to pop up, but I'm eating a keto brick, and when I made these keto bricks, this was long before keto brick was a thing. I was making these for the competitions for me to peak on these show days, and it's funny, there it is right there. That's the first generation keto brick. There's only 600 calories then, but it was funny because I was making these for my own personal use and benefit, and then people started seeing these on my YouTube channel. They're like, you got to make these things into a product. So it's just kind of funny to rewind the clock and step back 3 years and see how this was originally just designed to be something for my competitions, and now it's an actual product that feeds a lot of people and people enjoy. And I'm going to be having one this morning to peak for today's show. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to have probably a half a keto brick. I've got 1 more cup of coffee. I'm going to have that, and then I'm going to have half of a keto brick probably after I do some updated posing footage. So I'm going to knock that out real quick, and then I'll holler back at you then. Alright, so according to this one, I'm at 5.54. What was last week's?
4 something.
4 something. So that's probably a result of the slightly heavier weight due to the increase in food yesterday, combined with the fact that I'm filled out a little bit more. I'm going to have a lower registered body fat via the caliper test when I look flatter, so that's kind of to be expected. I'm going to get some measurements in now. It's incredibly important that y'all take measurements throughout the whole process, both contest prep and reverse diet, so you can see how things are changing. So I highly encourage you to do that. Another thing, I've got salt weighed out for the day. I've got 10 grams, actually no, I've got 12 grams of Redmond's real salt in here. That's going to be what I consume over the course of today. All right, y'all, we are back at it. We have the show day. I'm waking up at 166.4 pounds today. Keep in mind, this is after my second consecutive refeed day with 100% of an increase in calories. So a pretty significant increase in fuel, and I can absolutely tell a positive impact has been made on the physique. My muscle bellies are much more full and dense. My contractions in my quads, hamstrings, everywhere. It's just everything pops. It's a lot more depth, a lot more striations, a lot more vascularity, a lot more tightness. There's no bloat. There's no negative or adverse effect that has come from having that massive bolus of food the day before with that double keto brick, one with the meal in the morning and one with just by itself in the evening. The increase in sodium did the right thing. I'm able to have the contractions without holding any excess water. So I'm very happy with that. I woke up thirsty, which is to be expected. You can see like a lot more striations with the Christmas tree there in the lower back, more striations in the glutes, more vascularity in the upper back. I'm just going through these poses here. I kind of wanted to document this before I put the color on and just have this under the same lighting as I've done throughout this entirety of the prep so that I can compare this going forward. But I am 100% happy with the results of doing this 2-day consecutive refeed. I feel like the best thing that could have happened, and I will absolutely be incorporating this in the future. I mean, there's literally no bloat there. There's more pop to the quads, more pop to the fibers across the chest, and just more fullness. I think, in the past, like I've said, I didn't have that fullness that I was looking for on stage in the morning shows. I would fill out as the day went on, but with this, I feel totally filled out early in the day, which is what you're going to want going into a pre-judging. So happy with that, happy with the definition, the hamstrings there, the glutes, just everything. I could not have asked for a better outcome of doing this 2-day consecutive refeed. I didn't really know what to expect, but being able to front load it like that has been much, much more enjoyable and giving me a ton of insight into what I plan on doing going forward. I'm going to round that here with the crab most muscular, and we'll move on to the next clip. All right, y'all, so that concludes the posing for this morning prior to going into the photo shoot. I have not eaten anything yet. I've just had my 3 cups of coffee, and I've taken the pictures, the measurements, did that posing. That forces a little bit of the nutrients from yesterday's refeed into the muscle tissue. I could definitely tell looking at this footage that I've filled out a lot more since yesterday. So I'm excited to get my color on, do the photo shoot, and see how those turn out. All right, y'all, it is currently 6:43 in the morning. The photo shoot starts at 10 a.m. in the morning, which is basically like the same time as most pre-judging start for a competition. So I'm gonna peak for that time. I've got 1 peanut butter keto brick. I'm gonna have half of it right now. And then what I recommend, so the reason I even made these things in the first place is because it's not a lot of volume, but it's a lot of calories, and it's really calorically dense. And it's got pretty much, 81% of the calories are coming from fat. There's not really any fibrous bulk. There's not a whole lot of risk in it bloating me at all prior to stepping on stage, but the fat helps fill me out a little bit. You don't want to eat necessarily a whole brick right before you step on stage, obviously, which is why I'm going to have half of one now, about 3 hours out. I don't really know what to expect at the photo shoot. I don't know if we'll start shooting, right when we get there at 10. It's going to be like some setup time. I'm not really sure what to expect. But just as you don't really know what to expect in a competition, same is true with this. So I'm going to have half of a peanut butter keto brick, and that's what that looks like there. And then after I eat this half, I'm going to go walk around the park, getting a little bit of movement in. Nothing crazy, just a leisurely, casual walk around the park is going to help force any of these nutrients along with the nutrients from yesterday's refeed into the muscle tissue, and then that'll help me fill out that much more for the photo shoot. I was pretty impressed and pleased with how I was looking with the photo shoot, or with the pictures I just took, though. I feel like that big refeed yesterday, the 2-day consecutive refeed with the increase in sodium, has definitely helped. There is, in the peanut butter brick, 790 milligrams of sodium for a whole brick, so there's about 400 milligrams right here. Plus I've got a little bit of Redmond salt, so that's what we've got going on right now. All right, y'all, we're at the park. I want to make a quick little point here. This is my second bottle of 20 ounces worth of fluid. I've got a little bit of creatine in here, some branch chains, etc., etc. But I've had 3 coffees, and this is my second bottle of 20 ounces worth of fluids. And that's worth noting because most competitors dehydrate, and they're very, very much so underhydrated on show day, which makes it harder to get a proper contraction. They're trying to get this really dry look, but you can achieve that with a ketogenic approach without having to be just chronically dehydrated. I mean, I've literally stepped on stage with people and competed against them, and they had to walk off stage because they were cramping so bad due to their lack of hydration. So that's one thing you don't have to fool with when you get a properly dialed in ketogenic contest prep. All right, y'all, just got done walking around at the park, and then I sat down beside a tree and meditated for a good, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. I feel like that is so incredibly important on the day of the show. You've got so much going on, you've got so much anxiety built up, you've got so much tension. All the hard work's done. Like, just be present today. Recognize that you want to have fun. Like, this is supposed to be fun. So just be in the moment, take it all in, be thankful, have an attitude of gratitude, know that you put in the work, and just be at peace with the outcome. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Let's go do this photo shoot. All right, y'all, it is 8:56, which means we're about an hour out from when the photo shoot starts. Just got a shower, shave, so that when I put the tan on, it's not like all weird with my whiskers. All the haircut in places are closed because of this virus, so I haven't been able to get a haircut, so my hair is kind of doing its own thing. I'm going to go ahead and have one more half of a keto brick. Actually, I'm going to have a fourth of it. So I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to have 1/4 of a keto brick. So on the day of the show, you kind of have to like listen to your body and see how it feels based off of like, are you feeling flat? Are you feeling full? Do you feel like you need more sodium? Do you feel like you need more calories? I feel pretty good right now. I could definitely play it conservative and not consume another quarter keto brick, but I want to be a little bit more aggressive and just make sure that I'm filling out properly. So I'm going to have a 1/4 of a keto brick here, and that should work me right up to the photo shoot. So things should be looking good. So I'll see you at the photo shoot. We pulled up here to we're in downtown Little Rock right now where the photo shoot is. Crystal's in the picture here. We found a coffee shop not far from us, and they are open despite all this virus stuff. So after the photo shoot, we're gonna get a Americano with steamed heavy cream, which we've been craving for a while now. So
I've been having them every day, but
I haven't had one in a while, so I'm pretty excited about that. That'll be a nice little celebratory drink after this photo shoot. So I'm gonna email the photographer now, tell him we're here, and see if we can get the show on the road.
all right, guys. So we are here. We are about to start shooting. We're kind of getting everything ready to rumble. JDP right over there is getting us set up. And we're really excited. I brought a few props, some dumbbells, some bands, Robert's sword, and some trophies that he got last time. So really excited to get this ready to rumble.
All right, so I'm just kind of going through some of the photo shoots here at the events. I don't have these yet. I have this one, which looks pretty good. But I will get all these updated photos, and I'll make like a photo album for y'all to see. I'm super, super happy with how they turned out. I'm putting the tan on here, and we put a light coat on because there was no need to do a super heavy coat. Like him being a professional photographer and having access to the lighting, like he can manipulate most of the variables. I mean, all the photos without the tan looked great, but I wanted to put the tan on so that I can fully embrace the contest prep. It's kind of like suiting up for armor. You know, you got to like suit up your armor when you're getting ready for war. So I felt like I couldn't go through a prep and not put this stuff on, and I'm really glad that I did. But afterwards, we got a couple more shots with the tan, and I could really just tell that things were popping. It's hard to really know if you've made that much of a difference from last year or last time you competed without the tan, but as soon as I put this stuff on, I could see definition that I hadn't seen in years, and it was obvious that it was working. So got some cool shots with the sword, with the trophy, some props, and it was just awesome. Like, the photographer was awesome. The whole experience was great. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome.
Those are cool, right?
Yeah.
And then with regard to pumping up, this is going to be the same if you're doing a show or a photo shoot, but you want to try and get a good little pump, get some muscle or get some blood forced into the muscles, get some vascularity. Having some resistance bands on hand or some light dumbbells or just simply some body weight stuff like this with the push-ups is key. Really got a good blood flow there. And doing these poses, you get a lot of blood flow just simply by doing the poses. I mean, I was doing several different poses he had me doing, plus I wanted like I'm saying here, I wanted to kind of do all my mandatory poses. So I'll just cycle through these and I'll kind of do a little commentary. So it's kind of hard to tell with the lighting with that window, but you'll be able to see it when the professional photos come back and they're all edited and you can see, what the camera was seeing. But I was super happy with how these all looked. He showed me on the computer as he was taking them, and it became clearer and clearer to me that my body responded just like I wanted it to. There was no issues there. I peaked for this photo shoot properly. I wasn't holding any water. I wasn't unable to get a good pump. I wasn't spilling over. Like everything that you look for was happening. I was able to hold the contractions and get a really deep contraction in the quads, in the chest, in the back. I mean, everything was just popping. And again, with this lighting and this camera, for this video footage, it doesn't really do it justice because the exposure's all off. But his camera that he's taking these professional photos with, it really shows the crispness and the detail. So I'm super excited to get those out to y'all. I don't really know when they're going to be coming in, but I will definitely let you know as soon as I know, so I can make like some kind of online shared photo album for people to see if they're interested or what. I'm not really sure exactly what'll happen, but it'll be good. I was pretty pleased with them. You'll be seeing them for sure. But yeah, you can see the difference in how that tan makes. Just the contrast between what you're looking like versus what you're looking like without a tan, much more obvious. And the reason you would go much darker in an actual competition, if you're doing a competition, is that the stage lights are going to hit you and it's going to wash out so much detail unless you have that darker color. So like I said, I only did one coat on this, but if you're doing an actual competition and you're going to be under stage lights, which you are, I would highly encourage you to do 2 coats, maybe even a 3rd coat as a touch-up, just to ensure that you're not going to be too light, because that's one common mistake I see people making, is they just don't give themselves enough color. You cannot be too dark for these competitions, and as you can see, I'm totally worn out afterwards.
Big old butt. Nice. How's that taste?
Bite number 2.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Check that out. Yeah.
He's not stopping now. He's just gonna finish it out.
Heat it up.
Alright, y'all, we are done with the photo shoot. This was an amazing way to round out this competition prep. The virus kept the shows from going on, but the show must go on. That's what we did here today. Huge shout out to this man right here that made it possible.
He was awesome.
What's the website?
JohnDavidPittman.com.
Check him out if you're in Little Rock, for sure.
What? We are at Nexus. It is a little cafe downtown, right behind you. Downtown Little Rock, and we're getting Robert's first cup of coffee with heavy cream in it in a very long time.
Yes, we'll get some coffee too.
There you go.
Alright, y'all, got a cup of coffee. This is the first time I've had a sip of coffee with heavy cream that wasn't measured out since November 4th. And it's so good. So, to recap, the photo shoot was amazing. 21 or 22 weeks of dieting. I feel like the photos turned out great. He's gonna get all those touched up and edited, and then I'll show you what those final photos look like. But he was an awesome guy to work with. Thoroughly enjoyed that whole process. And Crystal and I are just gonna be together. And typically after a competition, you have a celebratory meal. All the restaurants are closed, so Crystal and I are gonna cook our own celebratory meal. Typically you wanna spend some time with family. All my family's in quarantine because they don't want to take any chances, which I respect. So I'm going to spend some time with Crystal because she's my family in the first place. So we got a lot going on the rest of this day. I'm going to keep you up to date, but I'm going to enjoy this coffee right now. See you in a bit. I'm trying to FaceTime my folks.
Hey,
What's up,
darling.
Mom? I put you on the vlog.
Don't have makeup on.
It's okay, you're beautiful.
Crystal, shame on you. Turn that camera off.
Doing a competition's all about being with family, so I gotta document being with family.
Good grief. I hate that we're not there, Robert. I really do.
Yeah, well,
We watched your video this morning, and you look fabulous.
which video?
The one you did Wednesday or Thursday? Yeah, well, yesterday. He said yesterday.
Wednesday.
You
Wait.
had already done one refeed, and we're going to do another refeed.
Oh, wait till you see these pictures. I'm a little emotional right now. So, back up. When you do a competition, you know, everybody goes out to eat afterwards and whatnot, and there's a sense of closure because you're amongst the people that you care about and who care about you and have been there with you throughout the whole process of the prep. Having that dinner meal is much more than just the food. It's being with your family, your loved ones, and just sharing that moment together. And because of this virus, I was not going to be able to spend time with my family. All the restaurants are closed. I couldn't meet up with them. The only thing I wanted was to be able to go have dinner with my folks. And they said that it was probably not a smart thing to do that. And that was the most soul-crushing thing because I got news that the show was canceled, and then I couldn't spend time with the loved ones that I have in my life. So I felt like there was just no closure to this competition. I just FaceTimed my parents, and Crystal and I were going to go cook at the warehouse, at the compound, and then we were going to go grab a bottle of wine and just go spend the night on the sailboat this evening. And my parents said they were actually going to go spend the night on the sailboat this evening as well. So now we're all going to go to the sailboat, we're all going to grill a steak together, and we're all going to be together as a family. And I'm truly so very happy and blessed for that. This is the closure I needed. This is an emotional time for me, but I feel very grateful for that. So, yeah. Just got out of the shower, feel so much more like a human again. This right here is why I have the best wife in the world. Check this out. She's gotten me roses, lilies, and a card, which I'm about to read. So, thank you, Crystal, for being amazing. So one thing I was craving during my prep was these chaffles that everybody keeps talking about. So I had to get a waffle maker because we didn't have a waffle maker. And when you're in a prep and you're thinking about food, you go all out. Check out this waffle maker. Boom, that is commercial grade right there. We don't mess around. That's a savage waffle maker.
No messing around.
Alright, so we got Crystal's meal here. What do we got, Crystal?
I have chicken, feta, and I have bacon about to go on there. And then this one is going to be chicken barbecue.
Nice. And what am I working with over here?
And Robert has elk burgers with aged cheddar cheese on top and bacon on the bottom with a little bit of mustard.
On the chaffle bread.
Mm-hmm.
Work like a champ. I'm excited about this. We're going to have a dessert pancake after this and then the steak tonight with the family. But this is going to be good right here. Home cooking at its finest. Mmm. You gotta love it. Very good.
Alright guys, so we wanted to make sure that everyone knew that after your competition prep, you do not have to go out and eat a bunch of carbs even if you want a sweet treat. So, for Robert's last competition and for my last competition, I made us keto brownies and we put a whole bunch of stuff on it like some nut butters and some keto-friendly chocolate chips and things like that. And I made a total keto brownie. We devoured it. For Brandon's competition, I made lemon bars and cheesecake bites and all that kind of stuff, all keto-friendly. today, since we got the waffle maker, we decided to make a sweet waffle for Robert. And I just put like really simple ingredients in it. There's some almond flour, there's some eggs, there's some protein powder, and so a little bit of heavy cream inside of it. And we're just gonna top it off with a bunch of keto-friendly toppings. We'll show it to you guys in just a minute. But don't think you have to go out and eat a bunch of carbs just because you're not in a prep anymore. It's gonna be way healthier and you're gonna feel so much better the following day if you just keep it keto.
Boom, dessert waffle in the building. We got very little total carbs. We got some 100% dark chocolate there. We got some double cream with some macadamia nut butter there and some peanut butter there, but very low total carbs. Pretty good. Alright, y'all, if it seems like I'm eating a lot of food, it's because I am. Let's be totally honest here. I haven't deviated from my macros, my nutrition for the past 21 weeks, 22 weeks, whatever it is, since November 4th. So there's a lot of thought that goes into like the best way to approach post-competition feeding, like show day. What do you do the day of? What do you do the day after? And then beyond. And I'm going to go into the reverse diet in great detail. However, the day of, so Saturday and Sunday, I typically am very lax with regard to the nutrition. I keep it totally keto. I had more total carbs in that pancake with the nut butters and whatnot than I normally do, but it's all been totally keto. I haven't had any sugars. I haven't had any grains. I haven't had any flours. Nothing and no need to deviate from a ketogenic diet. And even with that bolus of calories, I'm going to test my ketones and just kind of see, because I'm curious, what my numbers are. One of the beauties of the mindset that goes along with nutrition and how you manipulate things is you don't want to feel this regret. You don't want to feel this anxiety or this overwhelm or this like mental block from doing something wrong. And if you can stick to a healthy eating pattern throughout the entirety of your prep and post-show and have a healthy relationship with food, you're going to be all the better for it. So 78 blood glucose and then the ketones 2.6. It's been about 45 minutes or an hour post pancake, and then I had that elk burger with the chaffle right before that. So I'm going to go to the sailboat, spend some time with my family, and I'm pretty full right now. Like I don't need any more food, but they are gonna, we were gonna cook at the dock, but it's raining right now, so we're all just gonna cook our steaks at home and then bring them there, have a glass of wine and a steak. So I'm gonna cook a steak here, bring it there. Like I said, I don't need any more food. I'm satiated, I'm full, but I wanna be able to enjoy that meal with them. Crystal and I had planned on making these chaffles and burgers and pancakes here together and enjoying that together, and then I planned on having that meal with them. So I'm going to do just that, and then I probably won't eat again until late tomorrow afternoon. I believe the crew is coming in and we're going to have a little celebratory cookout with the Keto Brick Crew tomorrow. But again, the main point I'm trying to get across here is don't like just totally go off the rails, eat a ton of carbs, and then beat yourself up for it post-show. Yes, you've worked really hard. Yes, you deserve to like let loose a little bit and relax and enjoy yourself. But eating something totally counter to your long-term health goals does not equate to enjoying yourself. That's just digging yourself a ditch hole. You don't need that. You can enjoy the meal, you can enjoy the company, you can enjoy the camaraderie, which is what it's all about in the first place, with people without having to eat a bunch of crap carbs. So, I'm going to end my rant there. I'm going to fire up the grill. I'm going to cook this massive tomahawk steak. See you in a bit. All right, so here's our steaks. I got the tomahawk steak for me, and then Crystal has two, a filet mignon and a little sirloin. And hers are certified Piedmontese. Mine is from, I think, U.S. Wellness Meats, but pretty good looking steaks. I'm excited to get these on the grill and enjoy. What you got going on, babe?
Just drinking a cup of coffee and watching the rain fall.
Watching the rainfall. Got the grill going. Got my coffee. Got my feet kicked up. You hold it.
Oh man.
This is the life right here. This is the way to do a contest prep. Oh, honey hush. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be good. Alright, y'all. So the competition is done. Show day is upon us. This moment right here has made the last 22 weeks worthwhile. Let me show you what I got going on here. Got my wonderful wife, Crystal. My mom. My dad. And my brother. Is that a keto beer? And all kinds of good food at the lake. Gotta love it, y'all. Gotta love it. Morning coffee.
Are you serious? 12:15?
How'd you sleep? With your eyes closed?
I didn't sleep much, did I, guys?
No, he's snoring. Good morning, y'all. It's Sunday, March 29th, 2020. The day after the competition, day after the show, day after all that hard work. Had coffee with the family this morning. Spent the night out here on the boat with them. Last night had dinner with them. And today I believe the Keto Brick Crew is coming in and we're going to have like a little potluck dinner. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a clip of that in right now. Hey, come on in. How are you? Good, how are you? Hey, thank you. We got some flowers for you.
Oh, wow. Oh, and then everyone just stares at you.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? Good.
We don't have a handshake. No, that's all right. That's good. That's only us take it. This is how you socially distance. You have a get together.
And you, everyone claps hands too.
Alright, so Mackenzie. I had a lot yesterday though. I had a pretty good bit yesterday.
Yeah, you're looking pretty crazy vascular right now. So.
Well, I
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, you know. I mean, my legs like just hold.
Oh really?
That's what I just like. He
Waiting
started
to
doing
watch
it.
everyone's
And I was
reaction.
like, I'm not even gonna help. I'm just gonna let him do it.
They look gourmet.
That's right.
No, she was like, I should try it, honestly.
All of these are keto desserts, and it's gonna be amazing. Mm-hmm. Let me say something about this. So, the cheesecake is made with keto bricks.
Hey Mom, could I
So this is the toasted almond, the new toasted almond keto brick in a cheesecake made by Bryson.
If that becomes a consistent mistake with every time we do peanut butter mixing and pouring, it might catch on.
That's why we say every 3 months.
Yeah.
Woo! That's good.
Cheesecake brownies are probably.
I know that Crystal love KetoBrick.com. And Brandon's in here somewhere. Where you at, Brandon?
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So what did you say?
I said, when Crystal eats. Y'all making me tear up today. It's not good. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all doing that more than you know. That means the world.
Well, the goal was to make you cry. So.
Can we get a yee for Robert?
I'm gonna break the social distancing real quick. Appreciate it,
We
man.
can all have Corona together.
We all already do.
Thank you.
What's so cool is you can have that forever.
Yeah, no.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you, man.
For you. Thank you.
Give you a hug too.
Let's go around the entire room.
Let me give you a hug too. Thank you.
Give Robert a hug, Julie.
Appreciate you, man.
Sweet.
How you rise in that adversity is what defines you as a person. And everyone is faced with that adversity, so we all have the choice as to how we handle it. And I can say and walk away from this all and be proud of the way I handled it. Because there was a couple times where I just wanted to say, deal with it. And I didn't. And a large part of why I didn't is because I wanted to be a good leader to all of y'all. So y'all, thank you for keeping pushing me. Damn it, I cried.
That's what your brother said in his video. He was saying, like, you didn't do it to show up anybody. You didn't do it for the competition necessarily. Like, yeah, winning's nice. You want that. But you did it to educate people. You did it for yourself and for your family and for the people around you. And that's why you do things like this. It's hard and it's terrible and puts the people around you through a lot of things. But in the end, it's all worth it.
That's where I think it's like, it's such a good inspiration for all of us, because I've always been so much of, like, nobody's gonna work harder than me. No, and every single day, that you come in, I'm like, dang it, I feel like, you are an excellent example, every single day, that, I want to do the best job that I can for you, but at the same time, it's awesome just to know that you're never going to outwork your boss. That's always going to be there. And I think that just is, it creates this force of momentum kind of amongst all of us to know that our leader's pushing the hardest, and the least we can do is push the hardest ourselves.
We just all bust heads sometimes, and especially when there's all this crazy chaos with the virus and everybody's on edge and whatnot. It's easy to be in this echo chamber and just want to be mad at one another and be short-sighted. But I'm very proud of the team that we have. I'm very proud of all of y'all, and I wouldn't want to be with anybody else. Period. I'm gonna finish my dessert plate now. But I wanted to say something. I walked out here. My folks and brother and Crystal are back there drinking a cup of coffee still. I walked out onto this point because I wanted to be alone. I wanted to be reflective. I wanted to be present and just talk about some thoughts and feelings with y'all. So I've taken y'all through this whole journey. Y'all have seen kind of what I've gone through, the ups, the downs, the challenges, all of that. And I hope you see now how it's all been worth it. Even though there was no competition, even though there was no competitive aspect against another individual, there was a competitive aspect against myself. Every time I prep for a show, my goal is to be better than I was the time before, to have a better sense of maturity around the sport of bodybuilding and juggling all the other aspects of my life. The stars never align for a competition prep. There's always chaos, there was obviously a lot of chaos with this prep, but I made the most of it with what I had at my fingertips, at my disposal, my resources at hand. That's what you can do. That's what you have control of. That's all you can do. Control the variables that you can and let the chips fall where they may. The main thing you want to do is to be able to end it without regret, without thinking that there's something else you could have done, would have done, should have done. And I feel good about that. I have closure because I know that I can say that with utmost confidence. I feel like I've looked better than I ever have before. Maybe not quite as lean, but definitely more fullness. I mean, I was 11 pounds heavier this go around than I was on my last show day. So I've put on a ton of muscle over the past few years with strict keto. And I have a better sense of how to properly go through a prep. I've learned so much and will continue to learn and share that information with y'all. What's more is that much more so beyond the composition, the training, and how you look, it's the mindset and the ability to tap into this stillness of the mind. And the last 3 weeks of this prep were rough. That's when I got the news that the competitions were canceled. That's when just things started getting out of hand, and it was hard to stay on top of things, hard to have a positive outlook. So that's when I started really meditating on a daily basis. When I really started tapping into being present and fully grasping what I was doing and why. Like, what's the purpose of all this? And I tapped into that stillness. And that stillness is what makes all of this worth it. I learned more about myself in those 3 weeks of stillness than I do over 3 years of normal day-to-day life. And that is what makes all of this worth it. When you do something that's really hard, you learn so much more about yourself and what you're made of. So it's important that no matter what you do in life, whether it is bodybuilding or something totally unrelated, make it something that's challenging. Make it something that is hard. Make it something that pushes the envelope and pushes what you previously thought to be impossible. And when you do that and you prove that it is possible, you tap into that special little place in your mind where you become invincible. You learn so much more about what you're capable of, and you can put that forward into any other aspect of your life, and then you truly become invincible. And I'm proud of that, and I was able to tap into that, and that has made this entire prep worthwhile. And for that, I am forever grateful. And for you, I am forever grateful, because you've supported me throughout this whole endeavor, and I appreciate that more than you could ever know. So my final thoughts for this prep to round things out are: find that thing in your life. Give it your all. Don't hold back. Don't live with regrets. And learn who you truly are. And then be present in that knowledge and make the most of it every single day. I'll see you next time.